I'm going to show you how to make a pull space like Dimension and Subfocus do in loads of their tracks. Now the bass we're going to look at is from my upcoming release with Hodge called Let Me Be, and I'm going to show you the full process step by step using the same techniques that I teach my students to level up their productions. Now of course, if you want to just cut to the chase and grab the Serum presets and samples now, you can get all this in the DANCEFLOOR DNB sample pack. There's a link down below if you want to grab that. But let's start with lesson 1. So this is making the pull space on Serum. So I actually made this particular pull space after seeing a Subfocus set on YouTube, and I just got really inspired by a lot of his drops, and I was like, how does he create that rhythm throughout his drops? And then I came up with this bass, so I'll show you it now. So we're going to leave this here and put this down -2. So we've got the saw wave here, and then we're going to put the unison up by 4, and then we're going to turn on oscillator B, turn this down -2 as well, and then we're going to go to digital and add the ICANN has kick. And we're going to turn the wavetable to 157. So get this sound. Now we need to change the envelope. So we're going to put the attack down to 0, the decay down to around 600-ish, and then the sustain off as well. And we're going to open up filter 1, make sure A and B are both going through it, so both these oscillators are going through this filter, and then turn the cutoff all the way down and apply envelope 1 to it. So now we can control how much frequency we want to come out. So we'll put it on 70%, that way the very highs don't get out, around 70. Now let's add a little bit more to it on the effects tab. So we'll get a hyper, and what we'll do is turn the mix right off, and then we can apply another envelope to it like this. And if we apply this to the mix, we can change how wide it is. So listen, you should be able to hear it. It changes slightly. So let's just put this on like half. And then let's add a distortion. And we'll put this on 0 again and change the amount of drive here. So again, you can do this to taste, do 75%. And then if we just put this on the channel, so this is going on channel 43. And then let's have a look at the bit of the post-processing we've got on here. So we've just got an EQ, which is cutting out the lows for the sub. And then we've got an OTT on these settings, so 49% depth. And then a Camel Crusher on British Clean setting on these settings. And then because some of these plugins can make the low end come back in, we've then just put another EQ on it, cutting out the low end. It goes from that to that. Makes it stand out a bit more in the mix. Now the pull space is really fat when I'm listening to it on my headphones, but if I was to play this in my car or at a rave on massive speakers, the low end would probably sound quite thin. And to fix that, we need a sub bass. And this will definitely get your car rattling like crazy once you get this bit right. So let me show you how I do my sub bass. So you'll see here we've got all the main basses here and then the sub bass here. Now you can grab the project template for free in the description down below. It's really useful for your workflow. It is slightly different to this one because Hodge sent me the track first. So I just worked with his project template, but it does the same thing. So you can see here on the pull space, we're cutting out the lows. So below around 100 Hertz, we're cutting all this space out because we're going to put a sub bass here. And then you can see the sub bass here. And then if we go to the sub bass, you can see we've now got an EQ in a very similar position, cutting out anything above around 100. It goes from this to this. So much fatter. So there are actually quite a few ways to make a sub, but normally it just sounds fine if you grab a analog BD sine. So we got the sine here, and then we just go -2 oscillators. We turn the rand off, and then literally you can do it just like this. Just turn it up a bit. And then on this one in particular, you can actually change the wavedale position. So changing this slightly can give slightly different sounds. So if we go like that. And something as simple as that typically sounds good for dance floor drum and bass, because you're literally just working with 100 Hertz and lower. So now let's look at actually creating the melody of the pull space. So this melody actually came from Hodge. Someone who subscribed to this channel actually sent me a track for a video I did a while back where subscribers sent me their tracks and I looked at what they needed to improve on. So if you want to go back and watch that video, I really recommend it. Some great tips inside there. And I actually saw quite a bit of potential in this one. So I looked at it a little bit and then like 3 hours just randomly passed, as it does when you're producing. So what I did was fatten it up with my Serum presets, processing, and kept the same melody and then ended up with this. So let me show you the melody. And then I'll show you the sub melody as well. So here we have the melody of the first 8 bars. We're on step mode here. So this is the main bit to focus on. This is just a slight variation of that. So what I'm going to do is zoom in even more. And then I'm going to delete all these. So this track is in E minor. So we always start on E. And we can come here as well and go view, scale highlighting, and then we can go E minor. And then when we turn this on, it just means we can't play anything that's not an E minor. So look, there's the E minor scale. So if I just go onto here, you then just create a melody. So you can have it changing every bar or every 2 bars. In this case, we did 2 bars. So let's just play it with the drums so you can hear. And then we went up. So we just trial and error here, staying in the key. So this one sounded best. And then you just copy that. And that's in key as well, because when I click it, it's working. You can see that sounds good. So then it creates this melody. Now you might be wondering, there were loads of gaps at the start. Why were there gaps? It's because we've taken the bass out when there's other elements playing. So there's a horn playing, which I'll play for you later, at the start of each section here. So here there's a horn, here there's a horn, and here there's a horn. So it just lets the track breathe a bit when the horn's playing. And I think there was a gap here as well. So feel free to try this out in your track. Remember, you might have a different key, so you might use different notes. And then the sub bass here, you can basically copy and paste the melody from here to here, and then just change all the notes into sustained notes. So you see, let's play it. You see it's just copying it pretty much with some slight variation. So we've just put these little bits in here to make it sound a bit more groovy, and then done that there, so you can see the whole melody there. But the core parts are still the same, and we've got it sustained, so it's playing throughout the entire time, because a sustained sub would just sound so much better on fat speakers. If it's constantly cutting out, the boom kind of disappears and sounds a bit weird. So now we've covered the pulse bass and the sub bass and making it into a melody. Let me show you a sneak peek of this track. Now it's called Let Me Be, and it's by myself and Hodge, and it's actually coming out this month as well. So July 2025 it's coming out. And if you like what you hear, please add it to your playlist. There's a link in the description to add it to your playlist. We'd really appreciate the support. I'll also be dropping a full tutorial on this when it comes out as well. So the whole track, we'll look at the whole thing and how it's made completely, so you can learn even more. So let me show you. So the sub's here, the pulse bass is here, and then the horn is here. So we'll go into this more in detail when I do the full tutorial for you guys. But this is a horn from the DANCEFLOOR DNB sample pack, and it's playing where we took those pulse basses out. And then we've also got this supporting melody here. So this just plays in different areas just to give a bit more movement to the track, as you can see. So let's play it all together. So there's 4 elements in total. There's the horn, the pulse bass, the sub bass, and then the support bass. And all that creates a really nice groove. And then when you've got the vocal on top as well, it sounds really awesome. I'll give you a little sneak of what it sounds like with the vocal as well. Just a couple of seconds for you. Let me be who I was before. Let me be. That's all you're getting. If you enjoyed this video here, why not watch this video here where I actually make a sub-focus style track, and I take you through the entire process to making it and making it sound awesome.